metabolic adaptation. So the question that you asked was, how do we predict how long it's going to take? And the answer is always, is it depends. All right. But there's two critical factors that you want to understand, and they are degree and duration, right? They're the two Ds. Degree meaning how severe was the situation that caused the metabolic adaptation, right? Are you working with a bikini competitor that dieted on 800 calories for one show? Or are you working with a bikini competitor that dieted on 800 calories and did show after show after show after show and kept trying to peak and use diuretics? Well, the degree is completely different, right? Are you dealing with somebody that ate 1,200 calories, or are you dealing with somebody that ate 1,200 calories, did CrossFit twice a day, and did Orange Theory 4 times a week? Does that make sense in terms of the degree?
Yes.
Okay, so another way that we could state degree is the volume of the stress, right? The second is going to be duration. Are we looking at somebody that just built metabolic adaptation or just became metabolically adapted? Or are we talking about someone that's been metabolically adapted for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? So I'll give you a perfect example. I worked with a woman, she was 50-something years old. She came to me and she had been dieting under 1,000 calories and doing 5 training sessions a day for over a year. How long do you think it was going to take for me to reverse her?
Definitely over a year, probably.
Her degree and her duration were quite high, weren't they? Right?
Yeah.
She was under 1,000 calories. She was training 5 times a day, and she had been adapted for over a year. We could logically say she's going to take some time. I'll tell you how long it took. It took 20 months. It took a year and 8 months. Now let's take someone that comes to us that, you know, they just heard this paleo thing is the best thing in the world, and we do an analysis on their paleo intake, and you know, they're eating 1,300 calories, but they've only been doing it for 8 weeks. How long do you think it's going to take them how long do you think it's going to take to get them out?
Not as long as the person that's been doing it for a year. For
yeah,
sure.
I would actually argue that's your classic candidate to be a hyper responder. That as you increase, you're going to look like a genius coach because they're probably going to lose weight as you're increasing calories. So what you got to look at is what's the spectrum of degree and duration, and that's your only real predictability. Everything else is a guess.
Okay.
Right? I mean, you could dig in, you could look at hormone profile, you could look at thyroid function, but even those are very incomplete cues. You know, you could have somebody whose testosterone and thyroid were relatively unaffected, but that's not always going to dictate everything. So I would love to tell you there were more answers, but that's the honest truth.